Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome to Caterpillar's Book Club. Today we're going to share a very lovely story with you and it's called The Most Magnificent Mosque. It's been written by Anne Jensen and illustrated by Shelley Fowles. The Most Magnificent Mosque. The citizens of Cordoba lived in the most beautiful city in the world. They were extremely proud of the great mosque, which stood right in the middle of their city. Not only was the mosque wonderful, but it was surrounded by glorious gardens full of scented orange trees, sparkling fountains, and flowers of every color. The Cordobans used to sit in the gardens and think they were in paradise itself. The only problem was 3 naughty boys: Rashid, who was a Muslim, Samuel, who was a Jewish, and Miguel, who was Christian. They ran in and out of the fountains. They jumped over the flower beds. They used to hide in the gardens and throw ripe oranges at anyone they saw. The gardeners, Ibrahim and Yaqub, tried to catch the boys, but the 3 friends were too fast for them. One day, the boys were dropping oranges on people as they came out of the mosque. A particularly rotten orange dropped at the feet of a man in grand clothes. "Oh no!" cried Rashid. "It's the caliph himself! Run for it!" The 3 boys tried to escape, but the caliph's soldiers grabbed them and brought them before the caliph. "Caught at last," smiled Ibrahim the gardener, "and by the caliph's men." Yaqub rubbed his hands together. "There for it now. They'll get 10 lashes at least." So young masters, you would throw oranges at your caliph, would you? "Oh, we didn't know it was you, O great one," whispered Rashid. "Have you done this before?" asked the caliph sternly. All 3 boys looked miserably at their feet and nodded. Every day, your magnificence," cried the gardeners. "These 3 are bane of our lives." "Well," said the caliph, trying hard not to smile, "I can see you will have to be severely punished. I sentence you to work in these gardens every day for 3 months. So the 3 boys spent 3 whole months planting and weeding and watering and trimming. Yaqub and Ibrahim worked them until they dropped. Look, do they look tired?
Yes, I saw a desk. That is a job.
After work, the 3 hot and tired friends would wander through the cool mosque. "I never saw such a beautiful building," whispered Miguel. "It is much more magnificent than our church." "Oh, my synagogue," sighed Samuel. "Wondrous and fair indeed. Truly, our mosque is house of God," said Rashid. As the 3 friends grew up, they saw less and less of each other. Rashid studied medicine and became a famous doctor. Samuel travelled far and wide, trading in spices and silk. He kept a diary, telling of his travels and wrote poetry of great beauty. Miguel inherited his father's farm. He became a great landowner and was known for his kindness and lively songs he sang. The caliph grew old and enemies began to attack Cordoba from every side. In the end, he was defeated in a great battle by a Christian king, Fernando.
Who those?
So one is the army of the King Fernando, and the other one is the army of the Caliph.
But not you.
No, they're just fighting for the land. Who will live in the city again? So, Miguel, who was now the most important man in Cordoba, went to greet his new king. This one. "Don Miguel," cried the king, "take me to the great mosque, of which I've heard so much." "With pleasure, sire," said Miguel. It is the pride and joy of all citizens of Cordoba, Muslim, Christians, and Jews alike. The king looked at the mosque. It is indeed a most magnificent mosque, said the king. And he sighed. But this is to be a Christian city, and we shall build a great cathedral on this site. The mosque must be pulled down. That night, Miguel invited Samuel and Rashid to dinner. My dear old friends, I have a terrible news. The king plans to pull down our beloved mosque. What about our wonderful gardens? Asked Samuel and Rashid. They too will go. What can we do? Cried Rashid, burying his head in his hands. This one. We three must go to the king, said Samuel, and tell him how precious the mosque is to everyone in Cordoba. The next day, the people of Cordoba packed into the town square to see the king. I'm here to plead for our mosque on behalf of all Christians of Cordoba, cried Miguel. Everyone cheered. Yay! I'm here on behalf of Jews of Cordoba, said Samuel. Quite right, shouted the crowd. And sire, I speak for the Muslim citizens. Spare our mosque, cried Rashid. Everyone cheered even louder. Well, well, said the king. 3 communities with one voice. I can see that I will have no friends here if I pull down your mosque. He thought for a moment, then he said, I will build a church in a small part of the mosque, but the rest of the building and the gardens shall belong to all you good people of Cordoba. Cheers echoed throughout the square. So the great mosque was left for future generations to enjoy and wonder at. It is still there today, and millions of people visit it every year. Many sit in the gardens and enjoy the shady trees and sweet scented blossoms. And a few visitors say they have even seen the ghost of 3 naughty boys running in and out of the fountains. What were you asking?
I was saying, why are they still putting oranges?
They're just pretending.
Okay.
They say that people still think that the naughty boys are still there throwing oranges at people.
Okay.
Because it's a famous story for the great mosque in Cordoba. I hope you all like the story and hope to see you soon with another story. Allah Hafiz. With a smiley face. Allah Hafiz.